The legal and health consequences of using drugs and alcohol. Alcohol and drugs are part of life for many people. Cultures view drugs and alcohol differently. The laws about drugs and alcohol, including who is allowed to have and use them, are also different in different countries. In fact, the laws are different in different states in the U.S. It is important to know the laws where you live. It is also important to understand how drugs and alcohol affect you, your brain, your physical health, your behavior, and to recognize if you or someone else has a problem with drugs or alcohol. Having a problem could mean that you have a hard time controlling how much you drink or use drugs. Or it could mean that you want to stop or use less, but are having a hard time doing it on your own. Sometimes a problem could mean you are addicted to a substance. Addiction is when you feel a strong physical and emotional need to use alcohol or drugs. It is legal to buy and drink alcohol if you are 21 years or over, but it is illegal to provide alcohol to people under 21. It is illegal to drive a vehicle after you have been drinking alcohol because it is unsafe. Police and doctors can measure how much alcohol you have drunk by taking a sample of your blood. If you drive with too much alcohol in your blood, you can lose your driver's license, pay a fine, go to prison, and even be deported. It is also illegal in Vermont to drink in a car or in public if you are not in a restaurant or bar. Cannabis, also called marijuana, weed, or pot, which is sometimes smoked and sometimes eaten in the form of candy or food, is legal in Vermont for people 21 years or over. There are special stores that are allowed to sell cannabis, but if you are not a U.S. citizen, it is illegal to buy, sell, grow, possess, or use cannabis, and doing so can affect your immigration status. Your green card or citizenship application could be denied, and you could be deported. Even if you are just visiting the U.S. as a tourist or student, if immigration officials know you have bought, sold, or used cannabis, you can be deported and denied re-entry to the U.S. There are many illegal drugs in the U.S. You may have heard of some, and others may be new to you. Certain herbal drugs may be common where you come from. For example, khat or betel nut. Drugs that are illegal in the U.S. include cocaine, meth, heroin, fentanyl, ketamine, and LSD. The legal consequences for buying, selling, possessing, or using any of these drugs can be very severe, including prison and even deportation. If you have drugs, including cannabis, with you when you travel from one state to another in the U.S., the legal consequences are even more severe. Some people have prescriptions for powerful medicines to help with issues like pain or sleep. It is illegal to give or sell these medicines to other people. It is very dangerous for you and your baby if you use drugs or alcohol while you are pregnant. It is dangerous to combine drugs and alcohol or mix different drugs together because of how the different chemicals interact with each other. Taking too much of a drug is called an overdose, which can kill you. The risk of dying from an overdose is high, so if you are using drugs, you should never use them alone. Keep drugs and alcohol out of reach of children and youth. You can also lock drugs, alcohol, or medicines in a special box or cabinet if you are worried a child can reach them. When drinking or using drugs becomes a habit, or when you regularly use them to try to cope with stress or bad feelings, it can be hard to stop. Stopping suddenly without support can cause your body to shake uncontrollably, sweat, increase your heart rate, and cause diarrhea and vomiting. If you are feeling ready to make changes in your drug or alcohol use, there is help available. You can talk to your doctor, a counselor, or someone else you trust. There are also many organizations in Vermont working to help people recover from addiction and to use alcohol and drugs less. You can call the number 211 to find services near you. When your call is answered, say interpreter in English, and then say your language. Then explain what you are looking for. Everything you say will be private.